My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Jesus, every page of the Gospel speaks of your unimaginable love for us. As you said yourself to a soul close to you, everything that you say about my goodness is true. Language has no adequate expression to extol my goodness. St. Matthew tells us, when Jesus heard of the death of John the Baptist, he withdrew in a boat to a deserted place by himself. The crowds heard of this and followed him on foot from their towns. When he disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, and he cured their sick. Jesus, how many hours did you spend attending to the sick one by one? Despite your understandable tiredness, your eyes glistened as you looked upon those whose lives you had just transformed. But this was just the beginning of one more chapter in your relentless love for us. Matthew continues, when it was evening, the disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already late. Dismiss the crowds so that they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." With a sparkle in your eyes, you said to them, "There is no need for them to go away. Give them some food yourselves." But they said to him, 5 loaves and 2 fish are all we have here." Then he said, "Bring them here to me." And he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. They all ate and were satisfied. I imagine your delight as you watched the crowds enjoying the loaves and fish. Every Italian mother knows the instinct. Mangia, mangia. Eat up, eat up. Nothing gives a loving heart greater joy than seeing those it loves well fed. How much more is that true of you, Jesus? Matthew says, they all ate and were satisfied. Well, of course they were satisfied. What an understatement. And what a foreshadowing of how you, Jesus, would heal our heart. We can't imagine how much you want to give us. We notice, too, how unreasonably generous you are. Everyone receives enough. No one leaves half-fed. You always go overboard. Later, 12 baskets remain, not because the crowd needed more bread, but because your generosity always exceeds our needs. St. Bernard loved to say that the measure of loving God is to love him without measure. We might add that the measure of your generosity, Jesus, is that it has no measure. Love does not calculate. Love overflows. You give until every hunger is met. The question for us is not whether you, Jesus, have enough to give. The question is whether we come to you hungry enough to receive. The fact is that you hunger for our hunger. how much you long to feed us with divine delicacies. But we need to prepare ourselves to receive those heavenly delights. We need to train our heart to focus on that which really counts. St. John of the Cross says that created things are only crumbs that have fallen from God's table. Crumbs are good, but they cannot satisfy children invited to the banquet. So why is it that we so often settle for crumbs? How annoying it is that our heart can so easily be drawn to glittering objects that satisfy for an hour or two and then nothing. This is the deepest desire of every human heart, not merely to eat, but to be satisfied. We spend our lives seeking satisfaction in success, recognition, comfort, possessions, relationships. Yet none of these can completely fill the heart, because the heart was made for someone greater. Perhaps what our hearts need is training. Like an athlete, we need to strengthen the muscles of desire. We ask the Holy Spirit, our divine trainer, to teach us to desire that which really satisfies. Here is an important question. What do I really want? What fills my thoughts and my heart today? It takes a few quiet moments of prayer to answer that question honestly. Let's face it, most of the things that occupy our attention today are really crumbs. Few things matter much, and most things don't matter at all. Our challenge is to discern the few things God is asking of us today. This gives wonderful simplicity and peace to our day. So much of our anxiety comes from treating every demand as equally important. Jesus, whisper in my ear which items on my list for today really matter to you. I'm willing to bet that loving those around me and showing it are at the top of your list. Lord, you fed the 5,000 within anticipation of your body and blood in the Blessed Eucharist. St. Faustina was once given a glimpse of this hidden reality. While praying before the Blessed Sacrament, she heard Jesus say, "What you see in reality, these souls see through faith. Oh, how pleasing to me is their great faith. You see, although there appears to be no trace of life in me, in reality it is present in its fullness in each and every host. But for me to be able to act upon a soul, the soul must have faith. Oh, how pleasing to me is living faith." Lord, you are truly here. In every host, there is no appearance of life, yet life itself is present in all its fullness. Increase my faith. Teach me to come to you hungry. Deliver me from settling for crumbs. Feed me today until my heart is truly satisfied. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help in putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.